the main Chip Washington. It's real talk. Man, it's real talk with your main Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the main got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's a local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go. Here we go on this Monday evening. It is the last Monday of the month of September, the 29th, I believe it is. Welcome to another brand new live edition of Real Talk Memphis, 6 o'clock straight up, which means it is time to get it and go. My name is Chip Washington. I am your humble host. Glad to be here and glad to be back in the air chair on a beauteous Monday evening in the city. Temperatures today about 90, close to it, upper 80s, absolutely close to 90 degrees. And we're going to see that for the next couple of days. So summer not quite done yet. Temperatures are going to moderate as we get into the latter parts of the week. To more normal conditions, I guess, would be the low to mid 80s. So, we still have a little bit of, now for those of you who like this kind of weather, well, good for you. The humidity levels are down, so that's always a good thing as well. But anyway, welcome. We hope that you have decided to spend your hour with us. And we have a pretty good show for you tonight, as we always try to do each and every week. We will talk about that in just a moment. But first and foremost, you can get this fine piece of radio broadcasting a number of ways. Of course, we're live right now, following Level Lola on 91.7 FM. That would be WYXR. You can always catch us on the WYXR app. We're there as well. You can find us on the TuneIn app. And when the show, well, actually, before that, we are live streaming tonight on Facebook Live. So if you want to go over and check that out, you can do that as well. Once the show posts, you can find us on YouTube a little bit later on in the week. And we are a podcast. So wherever it is you enjoy a good podcast, you can find Real Talk Memphis. Just put Real Talk Memphis in your search and you'll find us and see what we're up to over here. So there you go. That's a rundown of what you can expect this evening in terms of my guest. My first guest will be up in just a couple of moments. She is Councilwoman Yolanda Cooper-Sutton, and she is one who takes her job very seriously, which is representing her constituency in her district. And we're going to talk a little bit about, of course, this federal incursion. I guess all these federal folks coming here, 13 different divisions, including the National Guard and troopers. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And also something that she did that puts her in the superhero category in my book. We'll talk about that when we talk to her in just a few minutes. A little bit later on, we will talk to Amber Huett-Garcia. She is a Memphis and Shelby County School Board member. Of course, not too long ago, the Shelby County Commission voted 7-5 to take the school board election and move it under the county slate of elections, which is scheduled for next year. Problem with that is for 5 of the board members who were elected last year in 2024, expecting a 4-year term, they will only have a 2-year term and will have to run for re-election in 2026. So we'll talk to Amber about all of that and what else is going on inside the Memphis and Shelby County school system. And a little bit later on, we'll talk to Mike Working. Michael Working is an attorney here in town. And there's several high-profile cases that are going on that I wanted to kind of get his take on professionally, find out why things kind of went the way they did and what he thinks the future of some of these court cases is going to look like. So there you go. That's a good look at what is happening on this broadcast this evening. So we hope that you sit back, relax, and enjoy the broadcast. Before I get started, I don't know how many of you went to the Southern Heritage Classic weekend. But I wanted to say that it was another wonderful event. It went well as always. After 30-something years, never been a hitch, never been a problem, never been an issue. And it was the same this past weekend. So Memphis showed up and, of course, welcomed Alcorn State University and Arkansas Pine Bluff University to the city. And everyone had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. We like to hear things like that. I'll get into a couple of other things in just a moment, but this is the time of the broadcast where we salute you, the birthday boy, the birthday girl. If you had celebrations over the weekend, like Lola celebrated her aunt over the weekend, 70 years young. And if you have a birthday coming up this week, this is your segment. If it's called the shout out, and we only do it here on WYXR. But I can't do anything until I tell my man, Bryn, hit it. All right. Here we go. I got a pretty healthy list today, by the way. Happy birthday to Kevin Phipps. I know him, good friend of mine. Happy birthday, Kevin. Robert Parker Jr. celebrating today, as is Dorothy Moore. Benjamin Cone III celebrating his birthday today down in Jackson, Mississippi. Happy birthday to Melissa Gray Baines. Perdito Burse celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to Catherine Doggett. Jalen Lyons celebrating his birthday today. Good guy, a good friend. I know him as well. Worked with him. He's got one of the best voices you've ever heard. If you've ever heard Jalen talk, boy, you'd be like, huh? Anyway, happy birthday going out to Yolanda Westmoreland and Paula Houston. And Lola is sauntering to the mic with her birthday wish.
Happy birthday to my niece, Kiara. Happy birthday. Love you.
Happy birthday, Kiara, and happy birthday to all of you who are celebrating a birthday today. I hope that this day has been filled with love and laughter, and, of course, a lot of birthday cake and great presents. From all of us here at Real Talk Memphis, happy birthday to each and every one. And we hope to be with you next year for your next trip around the sun. Thanks, Brent. Before we move forward, I want to pay condolences to big loss in this city. Myron Lowry passed away over the weekend. He was 78 years of age. Myron, of course, was an amazing public servant. He was a longtime city council member. He was actually mayor pro tem for a minute or two. He also served as city clerk. And just an amazing public servant. Myron Lowry was a good man. I knew him. He was a former broadcaster. Many of you who have been around this city for some years remember Myron when he was the news anchor at Channel 5 some years back. So our sincere condolences go out to, of course, his son Mikhail, and his wife, and the rest of his family, friends, colleagues, and all those who knew him. Myron Lowry transitioned at the age of 78. May your memory, sir, always be a blessing. All right, let's take a quick look at some news and notes. So this is the week that we were told that we would start to see some of the federal troops and some of the federal assets coming to Memphis starting this week. I don't know if anybody saw anything today out of the ordinary. I know I didn't. But we're talking about the ATF and the Marshals and the FBI and ICE. And, of course, there's supposed to be 300 troopers in and around our city. That's just way too much for my head to really comprehend. And, of course, ICE will be here as well. And we have heard that National Guard troops statewide will be coming. Statewide troops will be coming down here. We don't know when. We don't know how many there will be, and we don't know what their function is going to be. we know that they won't be able to arrest people, not at the outset anyway. But listen, my unsolicited advice to all of you is live your life. Do what you do. Just make sure you're clean in all aspects. And when you're driving around and you see a checkpoint or something, make sure you have your license and your insurance and your registration and all that stuff is up to date. If you have any outstanding tickets, you might want to get all that taken care of before these folks get here, just in case you do get stopped. But most importantly, live your life. If you don't have anything to worry about, then don't worry about anything, okay? All right. There was there's some good news coming out of the world of education. Mackenzie Scott, who is a billionaire, has donated. She donates a lot of her money to various causes, and recently she made a donation of $70 million to the United Negro College Fund, and of that $70 million, our own Lemoyne Owen College received $5 million in a donation from her. Out of that $70 million gift, Lemoyne Owen says it's going to work with the United Negro College Fund to raise an additional $5 million. This will create a $10 million endowment that will be managed in perpetuity. So congratulations, high five to the folks up at Lemoyne Owen College. There you go. Big round of applause for getting that money. That's what I'm talking about. That's the good news, ladies. $5 million. Congratulations to all of them. I congratulated Fred Jones for a wonderful and successful event this weekend for the Southern Heritage Classic. Pretty good football game too, by the way. Pretty close, and it's always good to see that. So that's a quick kind of an overview of what is going on, what is happening out there in our communities, in our city. I'm going to take my first break, and when we come back, let's get into the broadcast. What do you say? Sit back, relax, chill for the next hour. We will have a good show for you, I promise. My name is Chip. You know who you are. Let's take that break, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Programming for WYXR is brought to you by a grant from the Hyde Family Foundation, who is committed to creating a better future for the city of Memphis by supporting initiatives that enrich our city's cultural landscape.
Support for WYXR comes from Minglewood Hall, presenting St. Paul and the Broken Bones on Thursday, October 16th. Tickets and more information can be found at minglewoodhallmemphis.com.
Monster Market returns. Memphis's original freaky pop-up shop will be open October 10th through 16th at the Medicine Factory with a brand new collection of strange art, apparel, and home decor. One-of-a-kind oddities sourced exclusively from makers and artists. And unique in-store events every day at Monster Market 2025 this October. More information at memphismonstermarket.com.
Support for WYXR comes from Outback Presents, announcing singer-songwriter Jason Isbell live at the Orpheum Theater on Friday, March 27th. Tickets and more information at Ticketmaster.com.
Programming for WYXR is brought to you by a grant from the Hyde Family Foundation, who is committed to creating a better future for the city of Memphis by supporting initiatives that enrich our city's cultural landscape.
I'm Patrick Tamburino, host of the Techno Strategist podcast. Join me as we navigate the ever-evolving world of IT managed services and beyond. We'll explore everything from selecting the ideal tech partner to the forefront of cutting-edge technologies, all infused with my own unique perspective and hopefully a touch of humor. Don't forget to tune in to the Techno Strategist on the WYXR Podcast Network. For more information, head over to wyxr.org.
You're listening. But are you in the know? The WYXR weekly newsletter is the best source for keeping up with events at WYXR. whether they are happening on our airwaves, behind the scenes, or out in the community. Log on to newsletter.wyxr.org to sign up for our mailing list and keep yourself in the loop.
Did you know when you purchase a specialty arts license plate, you're supporting the Tennessee Arts Commission and organizations like WYXR? It's easy. Just take your old plate to your county clerk and swap it out, or choose the arts plate when it's time for renewal. Show your love for WYXR and other Tennessee arts organizations by visiting tnspecialtyplates.org.
Your car has one last great trip to take, straight to support WYXR. We'll pick it up, you'll get a tax break, and the music keeps rolling. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or any vehicle at cars.wyxr.org.
Support from WYXR comes from Sunset Jazz at Court Square, a free, family-friendly concert series presented by Just Jazzin', downtown Memphis and City of Memphis. Held every second Sunday from May through October, this annual event brings the smooth sounds of Memphis jazz to the heart of downtown at 62 North Main Street. Each show spotlights local talent in a wide range of styles, from straight ahead to swing. More information can be found at sunsetjazzmemphis.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. I am glad that you are with us, and I am very happy that my first guest is with me this evening. We were having a couple of audio problems there, but I think we got all that worked out. This is one of my favorite people, period, and especially in government around here. Please welcome to the show a frequent guest, Yolanda, Councilwoman Yolanda Cooper-Sutton. Hi, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. I tell the Lord, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule to join me this evening. Really appreciate it as always. So we're going to talk about a couple of things. Rumor has it that there's going to be, we're going to have some company in our city coming sometime this week in the form of some federal folks and the National Guard and troopers and the whole 9 yards. And I wanted to get your take on this. Now, first of all, and I find this to be interesting, both the county commission and the city council both put forth not proclamations, but resolutions saying that we don't want the guard, we don't need the guard, we don't need all of these people coming in to try to tell us how to handle our business. And there was a big show from some of your council mates last week at a press conference about all of this. The meeting came, this resolution came up, and it did not pass. And I thought that was rather interesting. But first and foremost, what is your take on all of this, and how do you feel about all of this?
Well, my take is we should have seen this coming up the road long before this is now actually manifesting itself. I'm going to still say what I said then. When Patel said what he said on the news and made that we were the most dangerous city, that was a time to act then. Mm-hmm. That was a time to take serious. Instead of being reactive, instead of being proactive, we reacted. And then we had two more other, famous commentators say something. One was visiting, and then the other one made another comment about crime, which was the ESPN, and then the other gentleman. Those were signs. And what I love about God and the word of God, warning comes before destruction. So everything played out step by step, and not one person reacted, rebutted, or said anything to that. They said something about it when the two black men said something, but when Patel said something about it on the federal level, no one said a word.
So here we are now. The governor came down here on Friday, a big press conference to announce that all this was going to happen. Yes. I feel like my personal opinion is this is a bit of an overreach and a political show staged by the President of the United States. But now that we are here, what do you see? How do you see this coming out? Because the governor said something real interesting. I'm a word guy, so I listen to a lot of words. He said, we want this to be a sustained effort. When I hear words like sustained, I'm not thinking of a few weeks like some of these folks think is going to happen. I'm thinking he's trying to keep this going for a while. What's your take on all that?
I'm a word person, so I listen to things. When you read resolutions, I think I've talked to you before.
Yes.
Look at the wording when people say things. Words are very important. And so this is possibility that this will be a long-term thing moving forward. We have not actually heard it, but he said it with the term that he used.
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah.
He said it with the term that he used. And what's so very disturbing is that you have grown men that are afraid to say, look, hey, hold on, just wait a minute. The numbers are going down and we're at a good place, but however, we're here now. So how do we capitalize on it? And what do we do to make sure that our people are knowledgeable of what's happening? Because we already know there was a post a while back that Governor Lee had visited Trump. Right. Come on, people. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what we should have been doing was targeting Nashville and the state. Everything is local. Everything they want to put everything, go after the ones who make the laws because they supersede ours. That we know that.
Right.
But however, there should have been petitions. There should have been something in place. There should have been meetings behind closed doors. There should have been all those things when he first made that statement. So we're here now. So what do we do?
So, and that's the question that most people are trying to figure out. I said at the top of the show here that, we know this is about to happen. If you're not doing anything wrong, just keep not doing anything wrong. If you live your life, and just do the right thing in reference to all of that. I don't want us to be a reactionary city. I just want us to be able to go out and do what we need to do every day, in spite of all of this additional, manpower or whoever that is coming to our city. Is that sort of the trick that you take in reference to this?
Well, you got 13 federal agents coming, and you worried about the National Guards. You better revamp and relook and think about what's about to take place.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody worried about the National Guard. Are you freaking kidding me? 13 federal agencies?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Department of War.
Mm-hmm.
ATF, U.S. Marshal,
FBI.
And then you understand, and the people, the thing that disturbs me is we take one thing and we focus on one thing and don't look at the total picture of what's about to happen and what's about to come down the pipeline.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't just do that. There's just no way. You cannot do that. And that's what has happened. So what are your plans for these 13 agencies? He gave.
I think she froze up there. She was about to tell us something here for a second here. She froze up. Let's see if we can't get her back. If you can hear me, you froze up there, darling. We can't. You lost your signal or something in reference to that. There she is. Can you hear? Can you hear me? Okay.
And
there you go.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And still, there's no plan that's been given to us on what this should look like moving forward.
Right. And that's my issue. We still don't know. And you're right about we're focused. People, the news and everybody else keeps talking about the National Guard. My question is, what? First of all, if they have no arrest authority or anything else, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be standing around street corners and this and that and the whole 9 yards. If that's the case, you can just leave them where they are because as you said, we do have 13 other federal agencies, including ICE, by the way, that is coming here, and they're not coming here for a pleasure cruise. This is going to be serious business, and I think that we're going to be
serious business.
we're going to be made an example of. I really do. I told somebody earlier today, I heard the first mention of troops and all these federal folks coming to Memphis on a national news show this morning. So now Memphis is going to be like the focal point every day on some newscasts all over this country. So
every
we're going to be seeing, so
every day,
yeah,
every day.
So when the folks are calling you and people that you represent calling you about all of this, what are you telling them?
Make sure your hands clean and you ain't dirty. That's all I can tell you. If you are citizens, and you know your children out here doing all kind of stuff, you better get them somewhere and sit down, because if they don't and they get these federal charges, you won't see them again, and they won't see who they love again or who they thought they want to love. That is what the plan is. Sit down.
Sit down. And you're right. I think it's now time for parents who don't talk to their children, especially the ones who are running the streets at all hours of the night, to maybe have those conversations. I think you're exactly right with that. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I even think about that little 14-year-old boy that was out begging that time of night, where in the world were his parents? Where did that child come from? Did anybody find out who that child was? What was the state of that child's being? Why was that child out begging at that time of night? You understand? So Memphis, we haven't done this thing right. And so I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say what I say and mean what I say, and I ain't going to take what I say back.
Okay. You
got a corrupt administration coming to police a corrupt city, a corrupt government. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to sum things up, I would imagine. But listen, before you get out of here, and I love your fire and I love your passion because it's very real and sincere. But you're a hero, darling. We heard about you. We heard about an 83-year-old woman who was evicted from her property, stuff all outside. And next thing I know, my favorite councilwoman got a phone call in reference to all of this. And because of your efforts, along with the Shelby County Sheriff's Department, that woman is still in her home. How did you find out about all of that in the first place?
I just got a phone call saying there's a lady that's 83 years old in your district. And I said, when they said 83, my head went like Chucky. Old people and children, I'll go to bat for them. They don't have anyone else to defend them. They've served their time. They've put in their work. They're put in their effort. And so when you say 83, it just raised, I just said, send me the address. Where do I need to be? When I get there, I'll find out the logistics. I'll find out what's going on, and I'll go from there. And so I just got a phone call saying that she was in my district. Okay.
And next thing you know, you went over there, and were you responsible for contacting the sheriff's office too? Because all her stuff was out there. They had moved all her stuff out there on the lawn. I mean, everything was out of the house.
Yes, I was. Can you hear me?
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I was responsible, yes, for calling the sheriff department. There was some conversation going out there that the eviction was illegal. I don't know anything about that, but I do know that I did ask to see the documentation of the eviction. I was never given that opportunity to see that. I did conversate with Miss Mava and ask her, when she opened the door, did they present any papers? I mean, what happened? And she said she kept asking. And until this day, we have not seen any documentation of these proceedings happening. And so I called the sheriff department, because my question was, if there was an eviction, an eviction that was supposed to take place or happen, would the sheriff have any notification. I mean, you know, I'm new at this. I'm 1 year, 9 months, and 28 days and rolling. Do you hear what I
Yes,
say?
ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm just trying to work through all this.
Uh-huh.
But when I see an 83-year-old woman and you're just taking her stuff out of her house and she's saying, I've paid my taxes, I've paid my taxes, and she's constantly repeating the same thing over, that raised an alarm to me. That raised up my eyebrows, that raised up my radar. And I did call Regina Newman. And Regina Newman shared some information about something in July. I said, but this is September. And so her family members and friends, and I asked the sheriff, you know, he sent an inspector out. And when they saw it, and her family members and got able to talk with her lawyer, I think was able to stop the proceedings of the eviction.
Right.
And we just got the people out there, and I said, we got to get our stuff back in here. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we got to rally together. And Chief Buckner and the sheriff department and all those advocates out there and the people that were out there working tirelessly and hard for her, by the grace of God, she was able to get back into her home.
Well, see, now that's God in action, and that's what public servants are supposed to do. And when I read that story, even before I saw a councilwoman's, and I hadn't seen your name yet, I almost knew. I said, I bet you, and it was you. So congratulations on not only talking the talk but walking the walk, young lady. I really appreciate you. And let's stay in touch. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We sure will.
Yeah.
I just say it's for the people. And I don't know what's going on or how long this been going on, but our elderly, we must take care of them.
Yes.
We must make sure they have taken, because we stand on their shoulders.
Yeah.
So we must take care of them. Yeah. We must look out for them at any means necessary.
Absolutely that. Councilwoman Yolanda Cooper-Sutton, my friend, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's been hectic for you, busy for you, but really appreciate you.
It is.
And let's stay in touch on everything going on, and you be careful out there as well, okay?
Thank you. Yes, I will. Thank you.
Talk to you
All
soon.
right.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Councilwoman Yolanda Cooper-Sutton saying, you know what, if you do the right thing, you won't have much to worry about around here. Let us make sure that we have conversations with our young folks who half listen to things. Well, they better be listening now, because the feds are coming, and they will be here eventually, and we'll see what happens with that. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will continue. Let's talk about the Shelby County School Board, Memphis Shelby County School Board, shall we? We have a member of that group with us after this quick break. Don't go away. I'm Chip. This is Real Talk Memphis. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page, and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from the Metal Museum. The Metal Museum's largest annual fundraiser, Repair Days, will take place October 16th through October 19th. You can bring your metal items to the museum and have them restored to their former glory. All proceeds help support the museum's annual programming. This will be the final Repair Days at their Bluff location. More information and the full weekend schedule at metalmuseum.org/repair-days.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you. And as we talked right before we came on, I've been trying to get Amber for a while. Every time I reach out to her, she's like out of the country, out of the city. But we managed to sync up now, and I'm so happy to have Memphis and Shelby County School Board member Amber Huett-Garcia joining me. Amber, it's good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Chip.
Well, thank you for taking the time. So, the last county commission meeting after this, I guess, long journey in particular for some of the citizens in and around the city, made a decision finally, 7-5, to move the school board under the county election cycle, which is next year. Now, that causes a bit of a problem for the 5 newly elected members who were elected in 2024. It cuts their term in half, and then they need to make a decision as to whether they're going to run. But on its face, tell me what you think about that decision and kind of where we are now in all this.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would say I think one thing I want to make clear, because I think there was a lot of coverage of the county commission meetings and a lot of my colleagues were making public comments. And so I want the public to be very clear that I don't agree with shortening the term limits. Really, this is, it's more of a democratic concern, right? The more democracy you give up, the more they take away. Mm-hmm. And this was a state-led really, I think, a retaliation for a decision that, I stood on the other side of it, but still don't think this was the right move. The county commission are duly elected. They're allowed to vote how they see fit, and they see it as implementing the law. But I think it opens the door to doing this to other bodies under the guise of something that maybe our lawmakers don't like, or I think elections are term limits, and let voters answer that, but not in reaction to a decision.
Were you surprised at the first move they made in all of this, which was to put term limits on you all's elections? I mean, were you surprised when they did that?
I'm not terribly surprised. But I think elections are term limits. If voters don't want you in office anymore, they send you home. And it is on us to cultivate candidates. If we're not happy with our elected leadership, either we step up ourselves or you vote for someone else. Like democratic process is a term limit. So we don't have to put those in place. But I do think there is a case for getting new perspectives in, right? I know that it's really hard to overcome name recognition. I think term limits, if implemented fairly across all of our, municipals and Memphis Shelby County schools, that's our other bodies are beholden to that. So that felt fair than truncating elected positions that were just seated.
Yeah, I think, and there's been some conversation about the possibility of some legal involvement in all of this, perhaps a lawsuit, and so we'll see how all of that shakes out in reference to it. And you mentioned it briefly a minute ago, but this appears to me like a pseudo recall. You remember the turbulence of what happened. Nobody can forget what happened with Dr. Fagans and all of that going on. And the public was extraordinarily angry about all of that and didn't feel like they were heard. And now this move, I would say, by some of the county commissioners is sort of like maybe answering that call in a kind of a different way to say, well, we wanted to recall you then, but now that your term is up next year, this might be an opportunity to do that. You sort of feel that way?
I can't speak to the motivations of what was in the minds of county commissioners, but I've certainly heard that, right? I've heard the other public comments who are asking for this. And I think voters have felt frustrated all year. I think, but though from like a school board member perspective, I was elected in 2022. This is my 4th year on the board.
Right.
We have literally been hiring and firing superintendents since I've got here.
Wow.
And I think it is time. And then now putting this on the board, having to look at the legality of it, They say we want us focused on the business of children, of academics, of a strong facilities plan. Yet we're putting turmoil constantly in front of the board when we're poised to create a governance plan, to, for the first time in my time in Memphis, to actually put forth some schools to right size our footprint. We've had record literacy gains in our ELA. We have a plan to hopefully hit those TISA targets, and we're unlocking TISA dollars. Like, there's so much good that's happening. I hate that this is happening when we could be focused on the business of children.
One of the things too that hadn't been lost on at least me anyway is the conversation at the State House in not one but two chambers about a takeover of some type. One plan in the House and one plan in the Senate. Brett Taylor has said not too long ago that he's going to re-up that. Now, in my common sense, I'm not that smart, but it seems to me that if you have an elected school board and you've done what you've done on the county commission side, to bring in and appoint 9 individuals, or however many it is they're talking about doing, and to usurp what it is you elected officials were elected to do, seems to be a bit of a waste of time. I just kind of wondered what you thought about the possibility of that maybe bringing that back up in January.
Well, there's a range of interventions that I've heard, right? I think I've heard board of managers. I've heard just bills specific to, I've even heard of stripping school boards of their ability to appoint a superintendent.
Yeah.
Those become elected positions.
Yeah.
I think the range is really wide. And I think right now is a really critical time for Memphis Shelby County School Board to be united and say, we are focused on the right things. And anyone who is interested in intervening, the best rebuttal to that is results. It is plans, it is focus, and us doing our jobs. I think the I guess I would say severity or the depth of intervention is based on what we can get done and how ready we are to execute through the school year. It's I guess the best revenge would be success. And that's for us to stay focused on our jobs. Yeah,
and one of the things, though, that's come up recently in conversation is the plan by interim superintendent Richmond to close 5 schools because of repair and a lot of other things going on. And one thing, I'm not from here, Amber, but I can tell you, I've never seen such loyalty from people to their schools, even from elementary school right on up. So how difficult a decision is that going to be? I think that we've heard some schools mentioned to be targeted to really kind of move forward with that plan.
So, one, our policy requires that we have community meetings. So this isn't going to be a process or a decision we make without bringing in community voice. And just because these are the ones we are proposing does not mean that that's going to be a final decision.
Okay.
I think for me, we're looking at more than just the infrastructure, right? We hear deferred maintenance. We know they need roofs, windows, HVACs. But it is also making sure the enrollment, the sweet spot is about 85% enrollment. So we can get our teacher ratio correct, our staffing correct. If you have 150 kids, it's very hard to start having a chess team, a wrestling team, all those extracurriculars you want to offer.
Sure.
The board has said multiple times, we want every school to be an optional school. We want those AP courses and dual enrollment. And it's really difficult when you have the ratios that you do in some of these buildings. So for me, one of the questions is beyond the infrastructure, how will it be better for our 13,000 employees, including our teachers? And are we at minimum offering an equal option to where they're at, or better, which is the ideal, right? So some of the investments we've had could mean that we're sending, or rezoning them to a school that is in much better condition, that can offer them that enrichment and school environment that we just do not have economies of scale to provide. But we don't make these decisions in a vacuum. It's part of, a phased process. These 5 have to be the first of 5. And it doesn't mean that we will, all of them will happen.
Yeah,
it is just that the data shows that these should be first in line.
Yeah. One final question for you: where you are now as a board with a new superintendent in place, how would you say that things are going so far in this early school year? We haven't been back too long here, but if you had to make an assessment as to where things are right now, what would you say?
I listen to what people in school buildings are telling me, and they say it's going smooth. For me, it felt like a phrase I heard a lot was like, this was the quietest start to the school year we've had in a long time. And I think that sense of stability has been a theme. For me, like, I think the vision is there with interim Richmond, and that doesn't mean we don't have a strong evaluation in place, that we aren't looking at all of the successes and creating a strategic plan that we're holding them accountable to. But people feel very hungry for that stability of leadership. And I feel really, honestly, this is the first year I've started a school year where I feel like, hey, we may not hire or fire a superintendent this year. We might be focused on the business of kids. So I feel optimistic, and I have an eye towards accountability, and really building a strong relationship with my colleagues. We had a tough year, and we've got it, and the work continues.
Absolutely that. Amber Huett-Garcia, ladies and gentlemen, Memphis and Shelby County School Board member. Amber, thank you for taking the time. I'm glad we were able to finally sync up and get you back on the show here. Continued success throughout the remainder of the school year, and we'll just watch and wait and see what happens. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Chip.
Take care. Thank you. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's a view from the school board perspective as to where things are and how things are going. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to shift gears one more time. And we're going to talk about some of these high-powered, these legal cases that are going on in and around Memphis and Shelby County. I have a man here coming up who can answer some questions for us about all of that. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back. Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you, and glad to have you with us. I am very happy to have my next guest on the show. You know, we have a lot of interesting court cases that are going on around here that maybe leave folks like me scratching my heads about exactly the what, why, where, and how. So I wanted to bring on a legal expert. He's been with us before, and I'm glad he's with us tonight. Michael Working is an attorney here in the city. And Mike, it's great to have you on the show again, man. How you doing tonight?
Well, thanks. I'm great. Thanks for having me. This is my first time Zooming from Crump Stadium.
That's right, man. You're doing your thing. And one of my Facebook Live folks heard you say, they said, so Central High School. I don't know if that's Central. No, I don't know. Maybe that's something different. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No, Central High, home of the Mighty Warrior Band and the Mighty Warrior Kazoo Band.
That's what. Absolutely that. So listen, let me ask you a question because ever since this whole thing happened, in reference to the federal case of the 5 officers initially who were responsible for the death of Tyree Nichols, we have seen some readjustment here in all of this. And now, because of Mark Norris recusing himself, now it's there's a possibility of a new trial for 3 of them. And I had heard initially that they couldn't be tried on the same charges, but is that true? And first, and before you even answer that part of it, how big of a mess is this? And have you seen this before?
No, I haven't seen it before. As for a mess, I sort of big picture, everybody's supposed to have a fair trial in front of a fair judge. And I haven't watched the hearings in this case, but the ruling of Chief Judge Sherry Littman was that a few days after trial, one of Judge Norris's law clerks was essentially carjacked and the victim of a very violent crime.
Right.
And he had concerns that it had been related to the trial, and that made some comments that organized crime had infiltrated the MPD, and made some comments that the officers would raise this, and their lawyers would say we didn't have a fair trial. Now, Judge Littman also said that in reviewing the whole trial, she couldn't find any mistakes that Judge Norris had made, or anything that was a real glaring error, but is a really high standard to make sure we have a fair trial. Any appearance of impropriety, if anybody might even think that this trial wasn't on the level, we're going to do it over. And so that was what she decided on, and the government has appealed. It's very difficult, high standard of proof to get that overturned. You have to show that it was a really, almost an abusive error by Judge Littman in making that ruling, and that's really hard to get to. But the government has appealed, and they're hoping that the verdicts will stand up. Now, let's say her ruling stands and there's got to be a new trial.
Okay.
The officers were acquitted of certain counts.
Right.
They were acquitted of certain counts, and so those counts are gone. Double jeopardy attaches.
Oh, wow.
And they don't stand trial for the second time on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of those had to do with civil rights violations. Some of them had to do with tampering with a witness and stuff. But they had all these counts out here, and then if they have a retrial, they're kind of very narrow grounds for retrial.
I think when I hear you say what you just said there, what must the parents of Tyree Nichols be thinking? I mean, to me, it seems like every step of this process is becoming more and more difficult, and these ex-law enforcement officers are almost, having their way in all of this, at the end of the day. So I feel just bad for all around for all of this, because, parents are going to continue to grieve the loss of their son, in particular in the way it happened, for quite some time to come. And I just feel so bad for them, because it seems like everything is just being delayed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And now you're talking about charges in the federal trial, and there could very well be another trial.
There very well could be, and it will be more favorable to the officers in the outcome. So, I understand as human beings that anybody would be disappointed. I'm a defense attorney, and there's never going to be a time where I'm going to say we should throw people's rights away so that we can make victims' families happy. I think it's really important that we have fair trials. And if there's been several rulings of judges that we didn't have a fair trial, that's not a result anybody should be comfortable with, and we should do it again.
So let me shift gears. We all remember,
and let me just say also.
Sure. Go ahead.
A lot of people are upset that it favors the officers this time.
Yeah.
The rights that are being protected are usually the people who are regular citizens like you and me, not the police.
Mm.
So, don't want to set a bad precedent because people are mad about what happened.
Very interesting. Another case that I wanted to ask you about, because initially we all remember what happened, the tragic shooting of Pastor Ricky Floyd. at that restaurant out there by Miss Marion. I can't remember if that was her last name or not. But initially, the charges against her were, I think, voluntary manslaughter. I think.
Right.
I think so.
Right.
But this went before a grand jury, and the grand jury, based on whatever they heard in all of that, decided on a second-degree murder charge. A bit of a surprise, or based on what we knew or didn't know about all of this initially.
I would say not really. Number one, if anybody who is a listener out there takes anything away from this interview, listen to this. Don't put much weight in what a grand jury does. Grand jury is one of the most unfair processes in all of the United States.
Wow.
The defendant isn't there to defend themselves. The defendant and his lawyer are not even in the room. So what happens is prosecutors read their charges and they ask for permission to charge someone. And then because grand jurors never hear the other side, they always say yes. There is an expression in law that a grand jury would indict a ham sandwich because you could put anything, it doesn't matter what you put in front of them. They're going to say, go ahead and indict it.
Right.
Which makes the events of the James Comey indictment in Washington, D.C. all the more amazing that 14 grand jurors voted to indict, 9 voted against, and they also dismissed a third count. So, it's really, was put in as a protection 250 years ago or so when the country was getting started. And, now it's a different process. You're not there to defend yourself. So second-degree murder and voluntary manslaughter are extremely closely tied as legal theories. That you shot someone, you knew it was going to kill them, is second-degree murder. Voluntary manslaughter is you shot someone and you know it was going to kill them, but they sort of provoked it. They did something to cause the events that night. And so that's what was originally charged because the video wasn't necessarily great for the pastor. Like he was like totally trying to de-escalate.
Right.
He was sort of stomping around in the parking lot and he was pointing fingers and he was coming at the woman. Certainly the defense is going to say this is a self-defense and there's no way it's anything more than voluntary manslaughter. But generally speaking, prosecutors charge a little higher on the latter, and that leaves them some room. If the jury compromises, they're still getting a conviction that they can live with. So it's pretty common that prosecutors might overcharge a little bit. And, a lot of defense attorneys think it's dirty pool to raise the charges after a preliminary hearing or what you've charged pre-indictment, then to go up because you're not in the room. But that's the process we have.
Wow, that is really interesting. Really quickly, do you have any thought whatsoever about the upcoming federal case? I guess they moved it to next year of Edmund Ford Jr., County Commissioner Edmund Ford Jr. in reference to charges against him.
Well, I wouldn't say the news cycle this week about there being a continuance is anything to be that worked up about. He went from trial in January to trial in March. There are really voluminous records in this case. He's defended by a really good lawyer, Michael Scholl, who also defended his father about 20 years ago. And at that time, I was a young attorney who was renting an office from Mike Scholl and watching everything he did to learn how to be a pretty good attorney. And so there were a lot of continuances in the trial of Edmund Ford Sr. There were a lot of trial continuances because there's so much volume of evidence.
Right.
And, it seems to be pretty similar. Usually the feds tend to just gather evidence. And then when they think there's like no way out of it, that's when they charge, but there's way more evidence. State cases are kind of quick to charge, and it kind of backfires on them sometimes when the investigation isn't all the way complete.
Well, my friend, thank you, man, for taking the time. I'm going to let you get back to the ball game, and really appreciate you coming on the show tonight and kind of walking us through some of these various cases. I really appreciate you. Enjoy yourself, and I'll talk to you down the road.
Well, always thanks for having me, and go Warriors.
Go Warriors. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That about wraps things up for this edition of Real Talk Memphis. Guess what's coming up next? Bren Butler, ladies and gentlemen, and another edition of Event Horizon. Bren, you got a good show for us tonight?
Oh, yes, sir. As the weather's getting colder, the music taste is getting a little more creepy, a little more atmospheric. So expect all that.
No, listen, she said creepy, a little more creepy on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well,
as we approach pumpkin and black cat season and all that stuff.
What we look forward to it is at 7 o'clock as Brent plays us
That's
out.
right.
Get ready for the spooky, creepy stuff that he was talking about there for his next edition of Event Horizon. But for this show, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We're done for tonight. I hope that you enjoyed listening to us. Check us out on Facebook Live. We hope that you did that too. If you like what we do around here every week, please go out and tell somebody to make it a habit to join us here at WYXR 91.7 FM every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time for an all-new Real Talk Memphis.